about to go downtown.
Downtown, hey!
Downtown. You about to go downtown.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome to another week's episode of Downtown World. Don't waste no time with negativity. And I want to remind you guys, show comes out every Saturday, and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Now today, as I always say, if you are watching, you already know what's going on, but if you are listening, we have with us a beautiful, dedicated, educated, smart, intellectual queen with us tonight, Ashlee Eason. And Queen, I truly love what you are doing in the podcasting world because you bring such light energy and education of like other people, especially in America, in the culture, as we would like to refer to it, and just letting us know what they're about and giving us insight into what people have going on and how to build our entrepreneurial skills and build our personal skills to become a better us. So let's welcome Ashlee Eason, the amateur expert, with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited that you're sharing your platform. It's not often that I'm on the other side of things. So if I ask a few questions, please forgive me. But that was a beautiful intro. Thank you so much, and excited to talk with you tonight.
No problem. Thank you, Ashlee. So a standard question, I'm just going to hit it right out the gate. We ask all of our guests downtown, don't waste no time with negativity. What is the situation where you could definitely say it was negative, but somehow, some way, you found a way, you rose above, you might have even surprised yourself, Ashlee, and you chose not to waste any time with negativity?
That is a really good question. I try to Michelle Obama it, right? Like they go low, we go high every single time. And I feel like we're jumping in super quickly if I give this example, but hey, we're here.
We're
go.
here.
So let's just do it. So I was previously married, and I am no longer married. And so I think I would say that the relationship had some negative parts into it, but I also think that divorces can also be, super negative. And so in that instance, I chose not to be. And I had multiple opportunities to do so. But I think that would be my answer. Definitely took the high road the entire time.
And, one of my favorite movies, Waiting to Exhale, I feel like a lot of these men do deserve the Angela Bassett out of us. But as you say, Michelle Obama, they go low, we go high. And it's way more difficult than people think, especially being in that position. So kudos to you, Queen. And thank you for just sharing that transparency right out the gate. I've definitely spoken with women previously where they've shared it's not like their first strike at love. And I love that. I love that as Black women, we're not just normalizing one aspect of how we see us. We've loved, we've cried, we've lost, we've had to start all over again. And that is okay, right? What are one of the things that you feel like just helped to bring you through that moment? Was it a song, a particular food? It wasn't the only thing, but something that just in the present moment, like it just brings a smile to your face and you're like, I remember that was something that helped me through.
That's funny. I don't I don't think there was a thing. So everything about the process was super quick. And so for me, I think I internalized a lot of it. And so I would say that for a long time, it was just like solitude. And it was just like, I didn't tell anybody, just sort of like sorting things out. There was, maybe this song. I think there was two songs. The song by BB Winans called He Promised. And there's another one that I used to play back to back, but we'll go with that one.
Like that sounds like what No Weapon by Fred. And I'm like, ooh, but it's medicine to me at times, music where it sounds corny, but it can definitely look at that, like such a beautiful, timeless record, and it helped to bring you such a beautiful, timeless time like in your life that like it's helped to build you into more of the person that you are here in front
For
of us
sure.
today, right?
Right. And my faith is super important. So it was good to have, something to help me stay centered during the time.
Definitely. I love that. So the amateur expert, how did that name come about, Ashlee? Because it's a catchy title. I love it. You're kind of like amateur expert. How did the two go together? So right away it catches your attention. So how did that brand develop?
So it's interesting. I started it out as a blog in like 2011. And I used to work at a hotel. And I think I was working the 3 to 11 shift. And I was like, "Ah, I need a name for it. Right." And so I started looking up oxymorons because I think I am one. And so I went through the list and that was on there. And I loved it because it's also my initials. And then another added thing why I knew it had to be mine was because my mom always told me when I was younger that it's important to know a little bit about a lot, right?
Mhm.
And so a part of this brand is me exploring and being in, allowing myself to feed my inquisitive nature and curiosity. And so, yeah, it started out as a blog, but I was super insecure about my writing and I took a hiatus for a while. Yep. And then brought it back as the podcast.
So when it comes to, because I've had this conversation lots of times with other podcasters where even at the beginning of our show, we say the listening experience and the visual experience are two different components.
Mhm.
Now, writing is another component as well. And it's not as easy as just putting words or typing out words because you can feel writer's block, a lot of things. What were one of those things where you felt like it just worked better for you on a like audio level versus writing? Like what
Yes.
was it that you felt like was just translating more for you?
So for me, I love people and I love to communicate. And so when I decided to bring it back as a podcast, it was because I was bartending at the time and I was meeting so many cool people. And they tell me that they had these random jobs. Like one guy was a rocket scientist. And I was like, I thought people just like, they're actual rocket scientists.
Like
And
actually.
so, right. I'm like, okay, sure. And so from that point, and there was a few other career paths that I was just like, so wait, when you were 5, you wanted to be a rocket scientist? Like, how did we get there? And so for me, it was being able to talk to people one-on-one
Yeah,
and see their journey.
yeah.
And so my podcast, the Amateur Expert Podcast, we talk about careers in the career path and ideas of success. And so for me, it was important to be able to do that in a conversation flow as opposed to written.
Yeah. No, I love that. So you've definitely got to speak to a lot of like people. One that I'll highlight, just for the people and the names and the things like that. One of my favorite ones was Devon Franklin, right? Because like you said, faith is something also that is very, very important for me. And people that watch the show know that I'm a PK. Not that I subscribe to the life, but that is the role. That
Because
is the
there is a
role that
life.
is chosen, right? I'm not Sarah
Sarah
Jane.
Jakes
No,
Roberts.
no. Shout out to that queen. Love her.
Yes, she was on the show too.
Exactly. So what was those moments like for you? Because I love moments where it's like someone, obviously it's not work, but there are some people where you're just like, wow, this dream, this idea that I conceptualized has brought me to a point where I'm able to speak with some really powerful people, like powerful people in terms of their words and wisdom, and
Mhm.
have that full circle moment. I've definitely had that full circle moment plenty of times being on this side of the mic. And this is definitely one as well, because I love everything that you represent, Ashlee. And
Thank
it's
you
just
so much.
like, what is that moment like when you're speaking to individuals like Devon Franklin said? Like, I post clips from her all the time. So now being able to have that person live in living color in front of you, being like, or virtually, as much as
Right, right, right.
possible, and being like, you know,
Yeah, so I think I'm going to answer truthfully, right?
All the time. Keep it
So
real.
I 100%. So I'm also want to be wise with my words, but I'm recovering from being a toxic person, right? And so I say
Okay.
that because for me it was an exciting thing. So I made a list in 20 where are we in 2019
Mhm.
of guests that I would love to have on the show. I was sort of like just made a list with my friends, I put it in my manifestation jar,
Yeah.
and was like, oh, it would be cool if, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't really put any thought or anything behind it
Yeah.
until I think I moved and I found it. I was like, oh, wait, like maybe we should try to see what we can
Can
do.
do.
Yeah. And so I think for me, I'm excited to have a guest to do the show, right? Just someone else every Tuesday that we just have someone on.
Yeah.
So when we got Sarah or Devon or Valicia or the people who were on the manifestation list, it was just like, okay, great. So how do we get the next person, right? Which is horrible, right? So this is me admitting
It's not. It's real.
my
It's
ex
not.
toxic behavior, because as much of it was a success, and I was excited to have them booked,
Mhm.
but I'm also just as excited to have my friend who's a principal on, or one of my you know just my friends. Or I think it's important to share everyone's journey.
Yes.
And so I'm taking the long way to answer your question,
No, no,
sorry.
no. It's your time. Like, go for it.
But I think I would say that, like, it's very exciting to get them on the show. And it is full circle, but I also try to treat it just like I'm talking to one of a regular person. But I also, and I get nervous before I do any show, so like
Yeah.
the nerves are always there, so like there's no real, you know what I mean. I don't know, I
You
it
can
was
keep it real. Like, I find, for example, one of my biggest interviews to date was with the dancehall artist iOctane. And
okay.
I listen to iOctane's music, Jamaican, everything, right? And the interview was almost 3 hours long.
Wow.
And if I tell you after I stop recording, I don't remember anything.
That was gonna say the other, it was like, what? And literally my friends always call right after, like, oh my
Your
god.
phone's blowing up. You're like, I need a moment.
But also I'm like, yeah, that was great. Okay, so next week we're gonna try to do right. And it's like they're like, no, you have to live in the moment. So I'm trying to practice living in the moment more.
Yeah, I love that. But that's definitely a part of this role of being a podcaster, because when you have a guest-based show, while you value and we respect and I'm excited to give here at Downtown World, we say eat fruit and mind your business. We
I
give
want you to
fruit.
know that I had some honeydew before the interview. It was very intentional. I literally was like, I gotta eat my fruit before I hop on.
Because we're minding our business. Yes. That warms my heart. I love that, Ashley. And
I
that's
just had to share.
thank you. And that's really like what it's about, like the physical and the spiritual aspect of it. But I mean, that like it's all about transparency, because that's the journey for me as well, where it's just like we enjoy every guest and everyone is special to us, because we have guests where I've interviewed people like they've gotten property from a grandmother that has passed away in the family at a young age of 19, and then now they're a multi-millionaire head of an invest. Like everything just has such special fruit and seeds in it, and it's just
For
like
sure.
we're not shorting anyone, but we must say there are moments where we're like, I don't know how I got here, but this is like unreal, and we can bask in that. You're completely right.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I think after the Sarah interview, Sarah, like she's my friend. After the Sarah Dick Star, she
She's
is my
everyone's
friend.
friend.
After the Sarah Dick Stravers interview, I think I was like this for like a good 5 minutes, just
I
like,
believe you.
and it's recorded, right? And then one of my other friends hopped on afterwards, and she was just like, Ashley, I need you to take a moment because you did it. You did it, and you did, and so
You did it well.
um yeah, there are times where it feels like, actually, I think she was the one interview where I was just like, whoa, right? But then,
Right.
but very quickly, it was just sort of like, that was today. We have
Yeah.
to do a show tomorrow, and excuse me, next week and next week. So like, we have to keep going.
So one of my other favorite moments in terms of like conversing, and I hate to call it interviews, like, but
Mm-hmm.
conversing with others, you know, is that moment when you feel like you genuinely connect despite how we have to be doing things during
For sure.
COVID. What is that moment like for you? Because it is special when, as I said, as I will tell people, I'm here conversing so that everyone will be able to share in this moment. But
Mm-hmm.
it's really just Kay and Ashlee, Ashlee and Kay. And I'm genuinely getting to ask this intelligent queen questions and pick from her brain. And that is such a like pure and authentic and raw moment, you know, especially when these are people that you never spoken to a day in your life. And you're
Yeah.
able to have that sweet, I don't want to call it a sweet spot, but a true connection.
Yeah, I think it comes from us being genuine,
Yeah.
right? I think because we're super passionate about what we're doing, that and like I said, I have a heart for people, and I'm sure you do as well. So I feel like I can have a conversation with just about anybody,
Yeah.
and for the most part, everyone who's been on the show has been excited to be on it, right? Or like signed up to be on it.
Yes.
So there's opportunity for conversation to flow easier, because it's like, okay, this, like we're on the same page, we're on the same vibe.
Yeah.
But I think it is very special. um and oddly enough, I started this before people were doing a lot of the Instagram shows.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like I had a lot of practice. When I first started out, I was horrible at interviewing. I
What
had my
made you?
questions.
Yeah.
No, literally, it was so bad. Like, there was no feedback. It was just like,
Oh
I'd
my
ask
gosh.
the question, they would answer, and I'd be like, great. And then I'd ask the next question, right? And so I had to, I
Develop
think
into you.
yeah, one of the things I learned is that as much as I wanted the show to be about other people, that I can also add value. And that was something that I had to learn along the way. So to not just make it like to make it a conversation and not an interview, if that makes sense.
I'm a huge nerd when it comes to this podcasting world. Like, and one of the things that I say all the time is the part about this that makes it so beautiful. The reason why we even loved maybe radio back in our hometown when we were young is the story within the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's podcasting.
For
Like,
sure.
to us, yeah, we're weekly or however the timing is, speaking and interviewing with others if it's a guest-based show, but the story is you as well. It's Ashlee Eason developing and owning this brand of the amateur expert, and people knowing that you've been around since 2011 or not knowing and being like, wow. That's why I even say, even with YouTube, oh good God, I look at some videos and I'm like, I need to delete this. Like, this is treacherous. But at the same time, it's a part of that journey, that growth. People need to see, you know, one of my favorite moments, The Breakfast Club, fairly new moment. There's lots of moments, one of my favorite shows, but when Monique calls Charlemagne Leonard.
Yes.
And then he changes his social media now has Leonard, right? Like,
Yeah.
moments like that where it's just like, it's you. Yeah, we know see the God, Charlemagne, we love that. But a lot of people, I guess they were surprised with that his name was Leonard, or they didn't do enough research, but the story within the story.
Yeah, that's something that I had to learn for sure. And also, I think it's, just a part of the growth, right?
Yes.
When I started the show, it was definitely it was around the time of the divorce, and so I was really trying to just find who is Ashlee. Um, and I think initially I wouldn't say trying to find it in the people I was interviewing, but I think my level of curiosity was trying to figure out how can I get to my next step, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is the path they took, so okay, this is the path she took, this is the path
Yeah.
he took, right? And then I was just like, well, I'm interviewing these people and getting inspired, but I don't have to take their tracks.
Yeah.
And so it was a part of me learning who Ashlee was as a human, but then also as a brand, and then like trying to package that and all together. And I think the evolution has been much needed, but also
As it is for all of us.
but it was a good switch.
No, I love that. And I love, as I said, I love the authenticity because a lot of women, we are nervous to share, I guess, our true authentic stories. But it's, we are one. And at the end of the day, obviously I relate more to Black women, but women across the board, like we all at some point have menstrual cycles. We all, there's certain moments as women that we've just experienced that men would never. And I feel like life is much easier when I remind myself of that when interacting with other women, regardless of like where they are at in life. Like I have random thoughts like, oh my gosh, who knows if Michelle Obama was on her cycle that night? She had to be thinking about, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all women.
Yeah. It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and we are, all connected. And I think the world would be a much better place if we thought about life in those terms.
Yeah, I agree. So I also love the name of your merch, and I love that you're wearing it tonight. Thank you. Thank you. So if you can let
Gotta rep
everyone,
your set.
you do have to rep your set. Yes, girl. So if you can let everyone know, just as I said, the amateur expert, but I love
Affirmed Armor. Yeah. So I launched Affirmed Armor in October of 2020. I feel like all the years are all the same
mumble
now,
jumbled now.
but yeah, so we launched in October, and the brand came to me. I feel like this is again through the divorce, right? And so there were times where I'd be at my desk, I'd be overwhelmed, I'd be crying. But like I mentioned earlier, I had done most of the divorce process in solitude, right? And
Yeah.
so my friends didn't know, my coworkers, a lot of people didn't know it was happening. And so there'd be times where I would look down and I would be crying, and I'd be like, wait, you gotta pull yourself together. You gotta work here, girl. And so I would take my sleeve and I would wipe my eyes, or I would take an undershirt and wipe my eyes. And so at one point during this, God said, right? I think I think being comfortable saying that is also a new thing for me. But anyhow,
Yes.
He put it on my heart to put like affirmations on the clothing. So like, you're gonna be okay, or God got you, or like, choose grace.
Yes.
And so yeah, Affirmed Armor was born. And I am learning how to be an entrepreneur. It is not easy. I am super creative, and so I love the process of designing, and I love the process of thinking about marketing ideas and things of that nature. But entrepreneurship is definitely something that is the next evolution of Ashlee. But yeah, so Affirmed Armor, we've got a few affirmations out. We've got some stuff launching this week. I'm super excited about it. We've got hats and sweatshirts and t-shirts and muscle shirts, and
We got Affirmed Armor.
We are affirmed. We've got it.
Yeah. No, it was just like it's literally that. Like you birthed, and I'm not gonna quote the Bible because I would probably get the verse wrong, but the idea of it, the verse that talks about in the armor of the worst
I know
ever.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know which one you're talking about. And the people who are listening also know which one you're talking about.
And that's the
And
most
they know
important
that
part.
and they know that it's in the Bible. So that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Ashlee, you were hilarious. And it's like dry humor and like sarcasm is like my favorite type of humor. And like you are cracking me up. I'm trying to okay. But it is Affirmed Armor. Just that, like exactly what you birthed, what you named it. now you clothe yourself with that. And that is very important and beautiful to have, because it's like when I say don't waste no time with negativity, right? It is a lifestyle. It is something that helped bring me through some of the darkest moments that I never thought that I could rise from. And mental health, I'm so happy that so many Black people I know now are normalizing the thought of therapy, going to therapy, even entertaining the thought, and let me see how I can get this done. Let me see if my workplace or my HR really does have something in place for me to think about, and like just go to seek help mentally. What does mental health like mean for you? And I know we've kind of danced around with everything we spoke on, but now I will ask you directly, like, what does mental health?
It's super important to find a balance for me, right? And so I have found that when I am out of balance, my mental is all over the place. And so finding balance between work and play and, entrepreneurship, but also I would say like it's talking about your feelings. Like there's so many levels and layers to mental health. But I do think it's important to make sure that you find a good balance for yourself. Because I think it's something about being like, everything is not always going to be 50-50. But I think if you're able to find a balance where things are able to flow well for you, it's important.
Very, very. So that's perfect segue to a next standard question that we ask here is, we have the 5 elements. You have earth, air, water, fire, and spirit.
Okay.
So I'll say it one more time. Earth, air, water, fire, and spirit. Which element do you feel like resonates with you or represents you the most, Ashlee Eason, and why?
I would say I'm a Pisces. I am a water baby. I love being in the ocean, being in the pool, I don't really like lakes or rivers that much, but water. Water is my thing for sure. Even if it's just listening to water, showers. I love water, drinking water, all of it.
All of it.
Yeah, I would say. And like you said, flow, right? And so for me, it's about riding the waves, listening to I love it.
It's like with water, life is a flow. Life is a flow. Sometimes the current is at a pace where like you gotta just sit and let the water coast you to where you gotta go. Like,
yeah, and sometimes it is rushing so fast that you might not make it, but it'll
you'll make it somewhere. It may be a stranded island, but sometimes that's where we need to be.
Baby, sometimes you need a life vest, sometimes you need to hop in a boat, but
or drive it.
yeah, life. For sure. I think that was a good way to put it.
Yeah, I love all the elements, but like water is a dear one for me as well. So it is all about flow. And I feel like in the midst of, I'm a big nerd. I love things like Shakespeare and stuff like that. But when you look into even the structure of how like plays and stuff like that are made, things when the storm is brewing, the storm is coming, you know that's a precursor. Divorce, storm. Breakups, ends of relationships, storm. Having to like even cleanse and detox yourself, that is a storm, because that's a huge thing that I will say struggle with, my diet, right? And the more you notice that your diet sucks, eat fruit, mind your business, is the more you're like, hopefully you're like, I need to adjust, I need to, and like you said, you had some cantaloupe today. Was it cantaloupe or melon?
Honeydew, I had some honeydew. Yeah,
yes, honeydew and water. You guys are looking at, if you're watching, you're looking at Ashlee and you're like, this lady ain't wearing no makeup and her skin is looking flawless. Yes, 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 yes. All the things.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Well, like, is that something that I know you kind of just said it, but you have purposely made present in your life? And what is something that, you know, you would share with others, especially women? Like you said, drinking water, so important. Daily, please, everyone.
Yes. Yes, please daily drink your water. Eat your fruits and mind your business. But for sure, I would say, so there's a question. What
Sorry,
was the
so the
question
question,
exactly?
so sorry, the question was just for you, like, what is, when it comes to food and diet?
Okay. Yeah, so I would say for me, I always try to have like a balanced plate, right? And so like I try to make sure I'm having vegetables, protein, starch. Like I always try, or I'll just do for the most part, I will do vegetable and protein, right? But I have found that when I'm stressed out, I don't follow that and I'm ordering out or I'm eating snacks or I'm, having a caffeinated drink and then I'm forgetting to eat. But then I also my productivity is horrible, and I feel sluggish. And so I would say, it's cliche, you are what you eat, but it's
It's
true.
true.
And I think that it's important to have a balance, right? So I like wine, but I drink water, right? I like chips and ice cream, but I have vegetables, right? So I just
Do
try
you
to
have the
make
chips
sure
and the
that
ice cream together?
not typically. Sometimes it depends. It depends, honestly. What I prefer would be popcorn.
Ooh,
Um,
popcorn and ice cream?
yeah, or like,
Mm.
like I'll have because I like salt and sweet as a snack.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's not like together, right? But
Yep.
it'd be like, okay, let me pop some popcorn. I'm gonna have the ice cream. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
learn something new about me today, guys.
Yes, no, seriously. That is that is something I like to ask everyone as well. Like, what did you eat today? So you kind of already like had let me know. So I was like, okay. But it's I love to learn people's like weird what they think is weird food quirks and things because
For sure,
food is such a way to like connect in a language in itself with people,
it
right?
is.
And
It definitely is. So
so
I think today I didn't eat a lot today, which is bad. But I
don't
still
shame yourself. You still got time.
I've got time to catch up. Yes. But yeah, I think I had an omelet today. I had some toast
Mm,
today. I had some honeydew,
mm.
and some vitamins and water.
What kind of toast was it?
Wheat toast with butter.
Yummy. And the omelet, because I those of people that follow me personally know that I love food. I haven't been doing a lot of Chef K videos as of recently, but usually like if I'm cooking, if I have an opportunity, I'll get the camera and get the things in there.
Yes, we
So
need more. We need more of that in our lives.
yeah.
It was I think it was a veggie omelet.
Mm.
I didn't order it. My friend ordered it for me.
Oh.
So, there was veggies in it. There was spinach, there was tomatoes and onions and cheese.
I don't know, like I don't know what it is for me
Oh,
about
mushrooms.
onion, onion and spinach, but like I feel like I down there put it in everything
And
that I
everything.
eat.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
spaghetti, dash them in there.
oh,
Dash
for
them
sure.
in.
Yeah. No, it's necessary. I did that. I had a kale binge where I was doing that with just adding kale to any and everything or just
That whole
eating it.
family.
Yeah, for
Bok
sure.
choy, kale, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like got the Caribbean, so you already know we got the saltfish with it, cook up with the
Yes,
tomato
yes,
and
yes,
the
yes,
mm,
yes,
mm,
yes,
mm,
yes,
mm.
yes. Yummy.
As my friends say, chef's kiss.
Yes, yes, yes. We love it.
And then I will ask another food question because you did say wine, so red or white, and what wine suggestion?
Okay, so I I am allergic or have like an allergy to the is it sulfites in red wine?
Same.
But so I typically don't do red, unless it's like a sangria or I used to like the Roscato from
Okay.
Olive Garden is where it was like exclusive to them, but now you can buy it at the store. But I recently started drinking 99 Crimes, and it's this
Oh, 19 Crimes.
19, thank you.
Love it. Oh my
19
gosh.
Crimes. And it's Snoop's Cali Red.
I'm with you
One of
right there.
one of my newest faves. One of my good
Same.
friends put me on. So
Ooh.
I almost didn't say it because I don't want it to run off the shelves. You guys probably
It's
won't like
already
it. So
sour grapes, you know.
you
No,
guys probably won't like it, but I mean, whatever.
girl,
But
it's amazing. It's
really good.
amazing.
But you guys probably won't like it, so that there's enough for us. Come on, we can't really like.
I got you. I'm here. I'm just saying, if people listen, because I have another show as well as my girl Killa Eat Fruit, and we put out the strawberry episode, and if people listen to that, you can blame that episode on 19 Crimes. There.
Okay. Okay. You guys have to go listen because I won't tell you what happens when I drink it. So
You see what I'm saying?
it's just so
it's just
good.
giving. It's giving when it needs to be giving. Now I know what to get Ashlee to say, have a great day, right? Let's get our bottle of 19 Crimes. Snoop. Okay?
Literally I almost had a glass before we did this, but I was like, no, I'm gonna have some melon. That was that was the better choice.
And same here, but I said, you know what? Let me gulp down some water. Cause you know, when you're I didn't really put on like makeup today, but when it's like oxidizing or whatever, you want it to like sit good. All the stuff I learned from Jackie Ina. Shout out to you, Queen.
Love that.
So I want you to let everyone know, Ashlee, where they can find you, where they can support you. Okay. And I am also normalizing, letting everyone know how you like to be approached or prefer.
Okay. That's a good question. Okay, so I've almost did the intro to my show. Jesus. Okay, here we go. So you can follow me at TheAmaExpert. I always have a hard time spelling it, so sorry, it was a little slow. So at The Amateur Expert on YouTube, on Facebook, although I'm not that active, just to be honest. And on Instagram is where we tape the shows every Tuesday. We go live with a guest. Did not go live today, but probably tomorrow. But anyhow, and then also at Affirmed Armor is where we are on Facebook and Instagram, and affirmedarmor.com if you want to get some Affirmed Armor merch. Check us out. You can DM me on Instagram. I'm super like
chill.
Yeah, it may take a day or two for a response. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. And yeah, no, let's connect. I also want to offer people an opportunity to be on my show. I love hearing about people's journeys, whether you are the CEO or the janitor or, somewhere in between. Because I truly, 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 truly believe that when you share your story, you inspire others. And I also believe that you have achieved success at every level. Yes. So if you are the janitor, you are successful, right? And if you are, entry level, whatever, success. And if your goal is to be CEO, you will reach that success. Yes. But at every step, you have success, and you are enough.
I love that. I love it. And in Toronto, because that is where my city, where I rep for. And shout outs to Drake as well. Artist of the decade. Okay. We gotta rap.
Hey.
But there was a show that used to be called Speaker's Corner. And it was like this random like booth set up downtown Toronto. And it looked like a telephone, like those telephone booths, and people could go in there, like anyone, all walks of life could just go in there and record, and it would be streamed on like the TV, not all day, like it was at a certain hour. So you would see the most, like I swear to God, if you're ever bored, search on YouTube Toronto Speakers Corner, and
Seriously,
it'd be
going to do
like
that.
drunk people, people that just got broken up with, people that are breaking up with someone, like the most random of the random of things. But I've tried to implement that into the show because sometimes I feel like we can have a conversation, but there's always something that I want to give. Like, I want to give the mic to you. Anything that's on your mind, doesn't have to be related. Something that you want to share, that you want, PSA, whatever it is. Like, it could be so random, like add salt to your seasonings. I don't know. But it's Downtown World Speakers Corner. So Ashlee Eason, let it rip. Anything you want to say, mic is yours.
The mic is mine. I'm taking the mic and I am saying that we are all human. And I think that it is easy for us to, especially in the social media age, to compare ourselves to any and all people who may have different levels of success than we think, or, you know, we are idolizing. But you know, they have the same 24 hours. They may have different resources. They may have, you know, different access. But I truly believe that we all walk in the same path, and we can all achieve our dreams. And so for me, it's important to share, not to focus so much on what other people have and what they're doing. I think it's okay to study how they got to where they got, and for you to take that information to implement that into your life so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. But if you're so busy focused on what they're doing and how they're doing it, you're not going to take the time to build what you're trying to build. And so that is what I'm sharing, and I'm preaching to myself as I say it, because it's so easy for us to do, because now everyone's life is on display for us. But trying to turn that idolization, which is sort of aggressive and dramatic.
Very easy to know,
but
it isn't. It's very easy to fall into that.
But that would be my what I would say since I have the mic, you know, changing the idolization into steps or study of how you can implement that into your life.
I love that. Mic drop. Love that. Well, guys, this has been another amazing week's episode of Downtown World. Don't waste no time for negativity. You guys have got to know Ashlee Eason. I've definitely got to know her a lot better today. And I hope you guys as well. Make sure you're supporting, following this queen. And we are reminding each other and everyone as much as possible that we are enough. You said a lot of fruit. You gave a lot of fruit tonight. But like,
we are enough. And one last piece of fruit. I'm not sure when this drops, but all May, we are doing 10% off, and the code for at Affirmed Armors, and the code is May 143. May 143.
I love that. So yes, you guys make sure to support. I will make everything will be tagged. Everything will be there. Right now we don't see it, but everything will be there. So I want to say, Ashlee, again, thank you just so much for this transparent conversation. You're such a genuine, like, pure soul and hilarious. So I'm happy that everyone got to like just learn you a bit more. And as I said, remind ourselves that we are enough, period. And we're your affirmed armor because we need it.
We need it. I love this, and thank you so much again for sharing your platform. I can't wait to have you on the show because we're gonna switch it up a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate it, and wishing you so much success and growth with your show. And again, thank you so much for having me on and for all your kind words.
Thank you. You as well, Queen. Let's all keep flourishing, and remember, don't waste no time with negativity, and eat fruit and mind your business.
About to go downtown.
Downtown, hey!
Downtown. You about to go